Hi, this is Ryan Donovan. I'm CUNA's Chief Advocacy Officer. Thanks so much for spending some time today with CUNA's Advocacy Update. There are three things you need to know about credit union advocacy this week. Congress passed a Phase 3 stimulus. CUNA and the leagues continue to encourage regulators to reduce regulatory burden. And the CUNA League COVID-19 survey remains open. Let's talk a little bit about each of these. First, what does the Phase 3 stimulus mean for credit unions? You know, a lot of work went into putting together this legislation. It's a big bill and it was put together in a really short amount of time. CUNA and leagues were fully engaged at all levels, weighing in the Senate to make sure that credit unions were included in some critical provisions. Provisions including the Paycheck Protection Program. Credit unions are eligible to participate in this program, which will allow for loans to go to small businesses to cover payroll and operations during this period of time. The bill also resurrects the Transaction Account Guarantee Program that guarantees deposits in non-interest-bearing accounts above $250,000. It includes language on troubled debt restructuring that should provide assurances to credit unions that they can modify loans during this time. It expands NCUA's central liquidity facility, and it delays implementation and compliance with FASB's CECL current expected credit loss standard until 2021 for entities that are required now to comply with that. It also gives consumers the ability to defer mortgage payments on mortgages owned or guaranteed by the federal government for 60 days. There's a lot in this legislation, and we'll have a number of resources through our compliance department to help credit unions navigate this new law. We continue to engage with regulators at the federal level to try to reduce regulatory burden during the COVID-19 crisis. We sent a letter last week to NCUA to ask them to weigh in with FASB to extend that CECL standard implementation until 2024. We asked them to expedite the finalization of the appraisal rule and suspend on-site examinations and data collections for at least 120 days unless there's an immediate need. We also asked NCUA to provide some guidance on how credit unions should respond with respect to real property inspections when they're completing mortgage loans. We also asked them to make changes to two rules that are in place. First, the definition of low-income credit union. We asked them to include APO and FPO addresses in the calculation of the low-income members for the purposes of that definition. We think that will allow some more credit unions to take advantage of that designation. And we also asked that NCUA eliminate the 30-day membership requirement under the PAL 1 rule. We joined with a number of other trade associations to send a letter to the Small Business Administration asking them to provide clear and consistent guidance on the 7A loan expansion that has been a part of the Phase 3 stimulus bill. And we also weighed in, again, joining with banking trade associations to ask FinCEN to extend all BSA reporting requirements for 90 days. We're going to continue to weigh in with regulators at the federal level to make sure that the things that might be keeping credit unions from better serving their members, more easily serving their members during this crisis, are reduced or removed. Lastly, I would just remind everybody that the CUNA League COVID-19 survey remains open. This is an important survey, and we're encouraging all credit unions to fill this out because it will help us identify where public policy impedes credit unions serving their members. It'll help us understand how the pandemic is impacting credit unions. And importantly, it's going to help us tell policymakers how credit unions have responded to support their members and communities during this time. There's a link to the survey in the advocacy update. You can also find it on CUNA's website. We're doing this in coordination and cooperation with our league partners. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes to join me this week. I intend to continue to do this during the crisis every week to provide a little bit of an audio briefing. Hopefully it'll help you get through our advocacy update. Thanks again. Bye.